This is the story of the most shocking 90 minutes in football history. The night a whole country, the greatest football nation on earth, was broken in its own home. And the craziest part is what happened in just 18 of those minutes. In 2014, the World Cup came to Brazil. And for Brazil, this was not just a tournament. This was destiny. Brazil is the most successful football country ever. 5 World Cups, the home of Pelé, of Ronaldo, of the beautiful game itself. And now the biggest tournament on the planet was being held in their own backyard. The entire nation wanted one thing: to lift the trophy at home, in front of their own people. Nothing else would do. They marched through the tournament, carrying the hopes of 200 million people. But there was a problem. In the quarterfinal, their golden boy, Neymar, broke a bone in his back. He was out. And their captain, Silva, was suspended for the next game. So they walked into the semifinal wounded. And waiting for them was the cold, ruthless machine of Germany. The date was the 8th of July. The stadium was packed. The Brazilian fans were crying during the national anthem, holding up a shirt for their injured hero. The emotion was overwhelming. And then the game kicked off. For 10 minutes, it was a normal match. And then the world tilted on its axis. In the 11th minute, Germany scored. 1-0. Okay, a setback. The crowd took a breath. Brazil had time. But Germany were not done. They were just getting started. And what came next has never been seen before or since at this level of football. In the 23rd minute, Germany scored again. 2-0. A minute later, in the 24th minute, they scored again. 3-0. The Brazilian players looked frozen, lost, like men in a bad dream. And it kept coming. The 26th minute, 4-0. The crowd fell silent. A horrible, stunned silence in a stadium of 60,000 people. Then, the 29th minute, 5-0. Stop and think about that. In the space of just 18 minutes, Germany had scored 5 goals in a World Cup semifinal. Against Brazil. In Brazil. The cameras turned to the stands, and the most powerful football nation on earth was openly weeping. Grown men with their hands over their mouths, children sobbing. A little boy clutching a trophy made of cardboard, tears streaming down his face. It was not anger, it was grief. They were watching a funeral. At halftime, it was 5-0. In the second half, Germany, almost out of pity, slowed down, but they still added 2 more. 7. Brazil scored 1 consolation goal at the very end. And here is the strangest part. When that single Brazilian goal went in, the home crowd cheered. And when Germany got the ball back, the Brazilian fans started cheering for Germany, for the team destroying them. They were so far beyond pain that all they could do was applaud the beauty of their own execution. The final score, 7-1. It became known as the Mineirazo, the agony of Mineirao, the worst defeat in the entire history of Brazilian football. A nation that had taught the world how to play the beautiful game had just been humiliated on the biggest stage, at home, by an unimaginable scoreline. Germany went on to win the World Cup, but honestly, almost nobody remembers the final. Everybody remembers the 7-1. For Brazil, it was more than a loss. It was a national trauma that the country is still processing more than a decade later. Players from that night say it still haunts them. One scoreline that turned the kings of football into a cautionary tale. So the next time your team is losing badly, just remember, it has never been as bad as the night Brazil cried, in their own home, in front of the whole world. If you enjoyed falling down this rabbit hole, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.